tea cosy I'm working on at the moment, and it's going to be the Venus Flytrap Tea Cosy with lots of traps. So so that's what I'm working on at the moment, and this is how far I've got, which is just the base really. This is, I kind of imagine this is the plant potty bit at the bottom, and this is the base for the main plant. And obviously it's like super scaled for this. I wanted to show you about when I'm designing things that fit on top of the teapot. So this is funky foam, and it's like cardboard, but it's made of foam. So it's plastic, so it's waterproof, and if you bend it, the bend doesn't really stay. Look, it just kind of works its way back to normal, and it's very durable, and it's just brilliant stuff. So that is funky foam. I'll put a link down below to where you can find funky foam. And I use it, so you know, on something like this, I've got to make stalks and fly traps, and I didn't really know how big the fly traps were going to be. So this one, for example, was my first rendition of a fly trap. So I'm kind of thinking it needs to be about that. They're not to scale because my teapot's big. So I need quite a big fly trap, but they'll kind of look interlink. Can you see? They're my teeth on my fly trap, because I want to make one of them have a fly in it. So I'll need the traps to close and the teeth to close over. Anyway, this was the first one I made. And when I pin it on, I thought, oh, that looks massive. That's too big, isn't it? Now, had I started knitting straight away and knitted that, I would have been really disappointed, thinking, oh, all that work and look how big it looks. It's too big, it's wrong. And I would have had to have started again. But because I've used funky foam, it's not took me many minutes to, you know, cut out the correct shape that I need. So, and then I made another one. And this one's a little bit smaller. It's the same with the teeth and all that, but it's, look, can you see? It's just a shade smaller. If I put it at the top, so that's level pegging at the top, you can see it's shorter and it's a bit smaller. And I think, but it was only by making a big one first that then I kind of able to gauge the correct size, and that's the actual size I want. And then I thought I need some stems, and the stems kind of come out from the top like this, and they come out in a circle, and then the fly traps are attached to the stem a bit like this, and then they curl up like that around that stem, you see. So now you can see that it is the right size for the teapot. That all looks to scale with the size of the plant and everything else. So I'm kind of thinking, so I need to do a few of these that come off, so it covers the main part of the tea cosy, and these are the right sorts of shapes and the dimensions that I want to use. So once I've got these parts, then I can start copying these shapes. So here is my knitted stem, and if you look, I've used the template to follow to create my stem ready for the tea cosy. And it's just, I don't know, it saves a lot of time because I've not actually knitted the first ones, and that I've not knitted the wrong ones. But it also, it gives you an idea of how it's all going to fit together and how the space available on the teapot can be used. Look, you see, so that's the first bit, and now I've got to design this part. But it just helps me gauge where everything's going to go and how it'll all fit together. And I thought, you know, I know there's people out there who are designing, not just tea cozies, designing all sorts of things, but you know, if you're designing, you're perhaps wondering, how do you work out how much space and how do you get it right without doing lots of knitting work? Because the knitting takes time. Cutting out a bit of funky foam is, you know, really quick and easy and relatively not very expensive, because funky foam's quite cheap. So if you're a designer, or if you're just one of those people who like to tinker with patterns and make a pattern your own, you know, by adding extra little knitted embellishments, this is how you do it. You make yourself a template, and then you follow the template and you knit it to that size and shape. So